What's up, guys? Welcome back to JodabeniTV. It is another amazing day to get out there, and we're gonna be better today than we were yesterday. The fall semester just pretty much came to an end, and the next few following days are going to be very important because all of these trials that are going to be happening in 2020, they're going to be happening either late January or February. And depending on which team, that accepts you, then you got to stay with them with preseason. And whenever you're with them in preseason, you don't want to be at the bottom. You want to be physically fit at the best as possible, so you're not slowing everybody else behind and ending up getting cut. So the goal of these next 2 months is to pretty much fine-tune everything that we have. And this off-season is going to be tough. It's not going to be the relaxing off-season. It's actually going to be trying to go out as much as possible and doing a lot of repetitions. But today I'm picking up my teammate Alex, and then we're going to head straight to the field, and then we're going to do some solid passing and some work before I head straight to Houston. So let's go pick up Alex right now.
Yeah, go. All right, today we have Alex, who's going to be training with me today. Do you have anything to say regarding trials?
Preparing for trials? I reckon the best thing to do is, obviously, you got to be well prepared if you're going into a trial. You got to stay consistent in your training. You got to be fit, and you got to just have self-confidence. That's probably the main 3 things. Self-confidence is probably one of the biggest things you can do if you're going into a trial. If you're trialing, scouts are watching your self-confidence type of that sort of stuff. And
yeah, so pretty much he's gonna be helping me prepare through this whole December break because he's the only teammate that I have who's still down here. We're gonna be playing some games here and there, but with his advice, self-confidence is the biggest thing. And you get self-confidence by repetition and practice, and you become confident in it. So that's why we're gonna come out today and do more technical, because I would love to gain more confidence in my technical ability, because players who are really technical and they play in the bag, it helps them shine so much more.
Because once you've done it 1,000, 2,000 times, when you're going into a game situation, you've already got it in mentally, everything's muscle memory. You're going to be going into the game not having to doubt yourself. You're going to have self-confidence in going in and be like, okay, I've done this 1,000, 2,000 times. I know I can beat my man, or I know I can take this touch in this direction or in that direction type of thing. So
So let's get straight into it.
Alright guys, so today we're pretty much started off with some basic 2-touch passing, and pretty much this is a perfect warm-up for anybody who's trying to be precise with their passing. And the whole point of this is we're putting a lot of emphasis on the very first touch, and if it's either receiving it with a really good touch or returning it with a really good touch. And we would only count the perfect passes. Any passes that we mess up, we would actually have to add it towards the end of the count. So for directional controls, it's pretty much you would pass the ball into the space, and we have to take a touch in whichever area we deem it's open space. And the whole point of this is just to get familiar with the ball, whether there's somebody on your left or right. So you just go whichever direction and then return the pass. And in this whole thing, you want to make sure your first touch is really good, and whenever you're giving the ball, just try your best to give a good firm pass so the other player can actually improve also. So here I'm pretty much imagining that I have a defender on me, and a lot of the times if you're a forward and you have a defender on you, you want to put your hand out so you can feel where he's at, and then you want your body sideways. That way you can hold off the defender. If you're flat-footed, it'll be easier for them to take it. So every now and then I would control it and to hold it.
So if you guys can tell the passing drill we're doing, if you've seen any of my old previous videos, we would usually focus on one leg, keep going to the right or going to the left with opening up. But now that we're at the advanced stages, where we want to be is where whenever we're receiving that ball, we just have to be free, able to go left or right, so it's not forced.
Predictability in soccer, you never know what's going to happen, so you always have to be ready for either way. If you're turning with your left, if a defender's coming in on your right, you got to turn left. If he's coming in on your left, you got to turn right. So it's just those split-second decisions.
Yeah, so like once you get the actual forward drill down, like passing and receiving, what you want to do is just add more, flexibility in it, because in the game you're not gonna get that perfect pass. Like sometimes our passes will go outside of the cone, but instead of going outside, our space is now in the middle, so we'll check it in and then pass it to the middle. So just being more familiar with the ball at your feet, and so that's what we're doing to work on our technical ability. And as you can see, we still need more to work on, and we're gonna go to the next drill, which is gonna be regular technical. This is the basics of the basics, but sometimes if you don't work on it, they do become rusty.
And to finish off the session, we pretty much wanted to work on our technical. This is the basic juggling technical where they toss you the ball and you return it. I started off with laces, and once we did several of those, we did thigh volleys. So you control it with your thigh, and the goal of the thigh volley is you don't want the ball to bounce up too high, but you want to get it to your feet as fast as possible. As you can see, I control it downwards. If you can look at Alex, he's doing the same thing. He controls it to where the ball becomes dead and it goes straight towards his feet. And right after, we'll jump straight into chest volleys, and you want to do the same thing here. You don't want to hold the ball in the air too long. You want to get it to your feet as soon as possible, because the quicker it's at the feet, the more time you have. So here, my goal is just to drop it down and give it back before it's over.
So today's session was pretty much straightforward. I got Alex out here. We worked exactly on technical. We did a lot of passing. We did even, juggling, passing. Things where are unpredictable in games. You want to be sure we're on top of that also. And I would have wanted to do some more crossing and maybe some headering, finishing to the goal, to work on my headering as a center back and to finish. But I have to go catch a plane, so I'm gonna go drop him off, and then I'm gonna be going straight to Houston. And as these days go on, I just gotta sharpen everything, so whenever the trial comes, everything is good. And whenever I get to Houston, I'm pretty much gonna update you guys how and what's gonna be happening with the trials in the future.